No, I don't want to go too deep into this, but I have been experiencing one of the greatest scandals I have ever seen or heard about ever. And once again, this amazing conspiracy theory started on Reddit. So, for those of you who don't know, uh, was a major chess tournament 15 days ago on September 2nd, 2022. And this was happening where they had like one of the most important chess tournaments. It was the Grand Chess Tour. It kicked off in St. Louis, and it had the number one player of chess in the world with named Magnus Carlsen, and he went up against a Twitch streamer known as Hans Niemann. This upset was insane because Magnus Carlsen started on white, and for those of you who don't know anything about chess, when you start on white, you get to go first. The white pieces move first. And this is just absolutely insane. They had the number one player in the world, and I'm like super dumb and really bad at chess. I'm like a 900 player in chess.com. I barely play anymore just because I don't have the time to do it. But yeah, this is just insane. Um, the, so the guy whose name, again, I don't know if I mentioned, his name is Magnus Carlsen. He is currently the number one player in the world for chess. He was the top player. He was a very big favorite to win the tournament. Not easily should have won. Whatever. Well, going on, he he went all the way through from September 2nd to the third round, which was on September 4th, and he was matched up against a 19-year-old Twitch star who was known widely for being on Twitch for chess, and this guy's name was Hans Niemann. And this has been going on for a while, where they've been trying to figure out exactly what happened, and everyone thinks that Hans Niemann cheated, but there's no actual evidence that can support it. The only reasons that they think that he cheated was because Hans beat the number one player in the world, and he had some suspect plays at best, you know. A lot of them were very strange moves that he made. Magnus losing was a little weird, you know, I'll admit it. But yeah, Carlsen swept his the first three easy, made it straight up to the third round, and he was gonna go straight into the to like all the way to the end. And they had Hans Niemann, who is the lowest rated grandmaster according to this article that I have pulled up. He was the lowest rated grandmaster playing in St. Louis, and he defeated Carlsen. Afterward, Niemann crowded, "It must be embarrassing for the world champion to lose to him. I feel bad for him." And then he lost to chess champion Wesley 4 days later. Meanwhile, Magnus Carlsen ended up tweeting this tweet, which went viral. He's withdrawn from the tournament, and he enjoyed playing it, and he hopes to be back in the future. And that's pretty cool, you know, that he ended up doing it. But he's been radio silent ever since that. We don't know anything about it or where he's at. So this is where things are going pretty great. And for those of you who don't know, that is the Chelsea football manager Jose Mourinho saying if I speak, I'm in big trouble, and I don't want to be in big trouble. And that's what that is for. So anyways, so going on, we're looking in, and the chess subreddit was just exploding. It was absolutely insane. People were freaking out about it because this was a major upset. This was a very insane upset, and it was pretty cool. Also, it's a major upset because Hans Niemann has been banned previously for cheating, which he admitted to in an interview. And it's speaking of the interview, which I'm going to get into in a minute. He went in to the sorry, this conspiracy theory just makes me laugh because it's so goofy. He goes in to speak with the interviewer afterwards, and he's like, "You just beat Magnus Carlsen. How do you feel?" And he's like, "Yeah, I feel great, you know." And then they asked him how he did it, and he said that he had studied Magnus Carlsen's moves before, but it's kind of weird because there's only one other recorded instance of Magnus Carlsen playing playing white, which means that he gets to go first, I guess. Not entirely sure because I don't watch a lot of like chess as much as I should to know about this, but this is just crazy. So anyways, then people on Reddit realized that he was acting a little weird. And for those of you who don't know how like impossible it is to cheat in chess, there was a guy who had his crew like move to corresponding tables because they had the table set up like a chessboard for some reason. And when they would move to corresponding tables, then he would know where to move his piece from there after they would look it up online or something like that a long time ago. I don't remember the guy's name, but it was talked about in a bunch of other videos. But anyways, so moving on. Yeah, so then people were like, "Oh, there's no way like he did that. He could have cheated because they have like metal detectors to check where he's at." And this conspiracy theory gets wild right here. There are people on Reddit that were thinking that he took anal beads and stuck them in his colon, and every time he like had a move set up, because for those of you who don't know, there are chest bots that can like they're small enough to fit in your socks now. I think they're called sockets, I think is what they were called. And they basically vibrate just to let you know where to move, and they do Morse code to tell you like move to dot 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 dash dot or whatever, and this moves to means move to per point A, and then it like beeps for, or not beeps, it vibrates for that, like for the corresponding number after the Morse code. So that they're thinking that he took anal beads and put them in his ass and had his colon vibrate to tell him where to move when the bot realized what was happening. And the reason like that this doesn't make any sense to me, which has already been mentioned by a bunch of other YouTubers, is they end up having like metal detectors and electronic detectors that like go all the ways up and down. They go all the ways down to your socks, and they just go over it. And there's no way that this wouldn't have been not discovered. And you know he's been denying it every time. And this article here says that even more suspicious, the same day Carlson withdrew, the World Chess Hall of Fame beefed up its anti-cheating security measures, including scanning Neiman for a minute and a half before his next match. And then it says here that he kicked things off with the Queen's Pawn, which is one of the most popular moves. And this entails pushing the pawn in front of your queen 2 squares ahead, allowing the player to dominate the center of the board. Yeah, so this is just insane. Yeah, I think that this was absolutely hilarious, and this is one of the funniest things I've ever heard. The fact that Reddit once again went on a wild conspiracy theory to try and like stop this guy from happening, or not even stop this guy from happening, to figure out like what's happening and see if they could get this guy to cheat. And to make it even better, someone posted like that Hans Niemann should play naked his next turn, and they should like make him bend over and cough to make sure there's nothing in his ass, like they do in prison. And he was open to it. He's like, yeah, I'll play naked in my next match. I'll make sure that we do a butt check, you know. And it's pretty funny. But then it gets weird because Grandmaster Hakuru Nakamura said that it was a known fact that he'd been caught cheating, and you know currently Hans Niemann has been banned for I think it's indefinitely until further notice, as chess.com tweets. Shows off with this tweet. The last few days have been tumultuous for many of the chess community. At this time, we have reached out to Han Niemann and explained our decision privately to remove him from chess.com and our events. We have shared detailed evidence with him concerning our decision, including information that contradicts his statements regarding the amount seriousness of cheating on chess.com. We have invited him to provide an explanation and hope to finding a resolution where he can again participate on chess.com. We want nothing more than to see the best chess players in the world succeed at the greatest events. Danny Roach, Chief Chess Officer. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about this for a minute because this is just insane, and just to give my own two like little opinion. I don't know if he cheated. I haven't seen enough evidence to explain it, and I'm not like too deep into chess to know for sure if he cheated. But I think that it's hilarious that he has this conspiracy theory rolling around where people are saying like he had things in his ass and they want him to play naked in the next game and he's down for it, you know? And at least he's being like a good sport about it, where he is saying like, yeah, I understand, and if you guys would like to reinvite me, I'm all for it, you know? At least he's being mostly a good sport about it. But yeah, that's about all I got for you guys.